You're on your Disney cruise and you keep thinking, okay, where will we go next? Well, today we're going to tell you how you can save money on your next Disney cruise. Everything you need to know about Disney Cruise Line placeholder reservations. That's today on the Disney Unlimited's DCL Show. Hello and welcome back to the Disney Unlimited's DCL Show. I'm Chris Forbeck, one of the agents at Dreams Unlimited Travel. Thanks so much for joining us. So Disney Cruise Line, well, it's more expensive than some other cruise lines, right? We get that. Personally, I think it's worth it, but wouldn't it be nice if you could save some money on your next Disney cruise? Yes, we're seeing Disney Cruise Line releasing discounts, mostly for specific itineraries. Today, we're going to tell you about a way you can save 10% on your next Disney cruise. And I know it sounds like one of those 1980s infomercials, just wait, there's more. We're just going to tell you how you do it. And it's a great way to think. And here with me to go through all this is Dreams Unlimited travel agent, my friend and colleague, Elaine Edwards. Hello, Elaine.
Hi, friends.
And of course, we have our amazing producer, Jimmy Valdez. Hello, Jimmy.
Hello.
And Jimmy is going to be on a preview cruise of the Disney Destiny. How exciting is that? Oh, I'm so jealous. Good to be with both of you today. Thank you. And we're going to be talking about placeholder reservations and some news about the Disney Destiny. It's officially a Disney ship now. So cool. That's ahead. But first, I get to tell you that this show, along with everything we do at the Diz Unlimited, DCL fan, UO fan, well, it's all brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. We are experts at helping you plan your magical Disney cruise, a visit to an amazing Disney theme park, your Universal adventure, even other cruise lines. There's no additional cost to book with Dreams Unlimited Travel, none. But we're going to give you insights about your Disney cruise ship, your Disney port, your Disney park, your Universal adventure. This is what we do. And by booking your cruise with Dreams Unlimited Travel, you get a shipboard credit of up to $1,000, depending on the price of your cruise. I always hear people say, what? Nothing's for free. This is one of these cases where you're getting free money to spend on board, and it doesn't cost you a dime. Not a bad deal. Best way to get started, dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. And I always note, by way of transparency, yes, both Elaine and I, we are both Dreams Unlimited travel agents. This is our job. It's what we do. But guess what? Guess why we do it? We really love Disney, and we really love Disney Cruise Line, and we want you to have the best time possible. Our job, both here on this podcast and as agents, is to give you information so you can make the best decision for you and your family. We always get asked the question, is it worth it? Well, we cannot decide that. What we can do is give you information so you can decide if it fits into your budget, if things that are important to you. You get to make those decisions, but we're going to help you along the way. And as Disney fans know, sometimes Disney fans can be more critical, right? It's because we care about this stuff so much. So yes, we have biases, but our bias is we love Disney and we want them to do an amazing job. So we hope you book with Dreams. It allows us to do this podcast. It allows us to do our jobs. But if you don't, we still hope you have a really amazing time. So, Elaine, I want to start with news. And of course, the Disney Destiny, this is Disney Cruise Line's newest ship. It's officially a Disney ship now. Ta-da! The shipyard, Meyer Wharf. So this is one of these technical things I believe the phrase they use is conveyance, which sounds so boring. But the shipyard, Meyer Wharf, which is located up in the northern part of Germany, it has been built not one, not two, not three. Well, this is the fifth ship that Meyer Wharf has built for Disney Cruise Line. And the process that they go through is Meyer Wharf essentially owns it until they go through tests and everything, and they do all the stuff to make sure that it's ready. And then they shift it over to Disney Cruise Line. So the Disney Destiny, the third Wish-class ship, along with the Disney Wish and the Disney Treasure, and two more Wish-class ships still to come. This one is one based in Japan and one that we know very little about, but we know they've started. The Disney Destiny has a hero-villain theme. Of course, hero and Minnie on the bow, Spider-Man on the aft, and the Black Panther statue in the Grand Hall. We'll have a dining area themed after the Lion King and a Broadway-style show exclusive to the Disney Destiny, based on Hercules. Very excited about all of that. The inaugural cruise takes place Thursday, November 20th, and the Disney Unlimited and Dreams Unlimited Travel will have teams on board to preview the preview cruises, and the team will have coverage from that. And if all goes well, we're trying to work things, but hopefully on Sunday, November 21st, we'll give you our first impressions right here. And just an FYI, I will be on the Disney Destiny both on December 3rd for that itinerary. And then again, I'm sailing into the new year. So I will report back after that. If you're on board either of those cruises, come up and say hi. So I'd love to see you. This is really, Elaine, we've been talking about this ship, what seems like forever. It's really exciting to see that it's coming to fruition. It's going to happen. It's like, wow, this is exciting.
It is. It is. And honestly, I cannot wait to see what people's reactions to it, just because, let me preface this by saying, I love The Wish. I love The Wish. I'm one of the fraction of people that love The Wish. And so when The Wish came out, so many people did not like it because it's not the same as the other four ships. We want everything to stay exactly the same. And because it was different, so many people did not like it. But then we got to the treasure and everybody loves the treasure. I mean, I had a client last night that I was emailing with, and he was telling me how much he loved it and how they can't wait to go on the Destiny in a few months because how much they love the treasure. And I was having that discussion with him. It's like, I can't wait to see, because everybody loves the treasure and everybody hates the Wish. Like, what is the Destiny going to be? So, because they're all the same.
It's funny. I think the initial, I agree with you. The initial reaction from Disney fans was, ew, the Wish. Yeah, we don't like it. And I think there are a couple reasons for that. To be honest, the Disney Wish was done during COVID, and they had a lot of issues, and it was not ready for prime time even when they did the inaugural cruise, it was not fully done. I was just on the Wish a couple of weeks ago. And I'm definitely loving that ship more. I've gotten more used to the ship. I always say, as Disney fans, we love change as long as everything stays exactly the same. And it is a different type of ship, and there are things that I do not like about that ship. The adult area, I don't think they got right. And it's funny, we're going to be doing a show on lounges. And as I was doing research around that, I was thought, there's no place on the Wish where if I'm going to hang out with a group of 10 people, where do you do that in a kind of quiet, where's the quiet adult kind of cozy space on that ship? And I think so there are some things, but I definitely love it. It's spectacular. It's gorgeous. But, and I wanted to ask you, because at least what I have found is people who the Wish is their first ship, they really love it. And I don't know if it is a gorgeous ship. And I find that people who do those 3 or 4 night cruises, they have a great time. They love this ship. They come off raving about it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's so many people now that the Wish is kind of doing that bread and butter cruise. It took it over from the Dream when it arrived. So it's doing the 3 and 4 night Bahamian and Castaway Cay out of Port Canaveral, which for so many people, that is their first cruise because it's a good dip your toes in the water. You get the Disney Island, you sail out of a port close to Orlando. Like it really works for so many people as their first cruise, and they love it. And like I said, I started this whole thing with, I love the Wish. I absolutely love it. I think it's gorgeous. I think it feels just so peaceful and relaxing. And so I love it. I have there's weird things and they made weird decisions on things, but I still love it. And I think the Destiny is going to be great. It is leaning so hard into that heroes and villains in every aspect. So I think it's going to hit that kind of core fan group that is really into that, and that's going to be their ship. So,
well, and you were the first person to mention this, and I think you're right on target about it. After you said it, it's like great. I think they've taken a lot of the stuff that they did on the Star Wars Hotel, what we all call the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, which was really had so many show elements that went along your cruise. And they brought that to the Disney Destiny, it feels like. And I think you're right on target around that. And so I'm fascinated to see. You don't have a Disney Destiny scheduled yet, do you?
I don't have a Disney Destiny scheduled
Okay.
yet, so
You
hopefully
and
that
I are
is a
going to
thing.
change that. You and I are going to go cruise together, and we're going to do the Disney Destiny. We are going to talk about that offline, and we're going to find a way because we need to. We haven't we've cruised in big groups, but Elaine and I are going to go do a cruise. So we'll let you know when that's going to be, and we'll do a fun invite anyone who wants to come and kind of podcast cruise, right? Let's talk about placeholder reservations. And many people call them onboard. And as I was pulling my notes together for this, this is one of these shows. I always call them BBI, boring but important. But this is really important, and some people understand it, and we get so many questions about it. So, Elaine, let's start off by giving the broad definition. What is a placeholder reservation? What is an online booking?
Yes, so a placeholder can only be purchased while you are on board your Disney cruise. You cannot wait till you get home. And honestly, I don't think you can even do it on the day that you get off the ship. You got to do it before that very last night. And you can purchase it through your Disney Cruise Line app or at guest services. But what it is it used to be pre-COVID is that they would have a future bookings desk on the ship. And you could go there, you could talk with a cast member, and you could book a future cruise, like pick an actual date, an actual cruise, book it. They would give you a discount and a reduced deposit. Well, they've kind of taken that away, and now it's just placeholders. So you are paying a $250 deposit to purchase this placeholder. And you can then convert that placeholder into an actual cruise that sails within 24 months of the day that you purchase it. And you will get 10% off of that cruise. You will get a reduced deposit in some instances, and that $250 that you pay for it, that's actually going to get applied to that deposit. So you may not have to pay any additional, or you may just have to pay a little bit small amount once you convert that to a cruise, depending upon the cost of your cruise. And it is a really good deal. We're going to get into some nitty gritty about it, but that's kind of the overview. But I do want to say it is a reservation. When you purchase a placeholder, it is a reservation. You get a reservation number. It just doesn't have an actual date attached to it. And this kind of gets a lot of people confused because they say, okay, I purchased a placeholder. I want to apply this to this cruise I already have booked. We can't do that. It's not a coupon code. It's an actual reservation that we modify into an actual cruise date. So we'll get into more specifics about that, but that's your basic
The
definition.
one key point about this that I think is so important is that $250, and as Elaine mentioned, for your placeholder reservation, this is a deposit on that reservation. That deposit is fully refundable. If you don't use that after 24 months, use it. You get to cruise. But if you don't use it, it is going to auto cancel, and that $250 comes back to you. So there is zero risk to purchasing a placeholder reservation on board. The other point that I always like to remind folks, and I'll emphasize this again because it's one of the questions we always get. You can purchase per household 2 placeholder reservations that you pay $250 for each of them, so a total of $500 if you buy both of them. The wording on Disney Cruise Line's website is so terrible. You must use both of those reservations on an itinerary. You can't say, oh, I want to sail in June and I want to sail in July, or do back-to-backs or something like that, and use one of the placeholders on one and one of the placeholders. That doesn't work. And I always get people who say, oh, okay, I want to do this. You cannot do it. And then they say, well, I'm going to call Disney. Disney will tell you it does not. That's not the way it works. So they have to be used on the same itinerary. If you want to take a family member, that second reservation, the person does not have to have sailed. So you can take a family member, you can take a friend, you can take somebody else, but they do have to be on the same reservation. And as Elaine mentioned, savings 10% off of the rates you'll find on DCL on DisneyCruise.com. So it's essentially a 10% off, reduced deposits generally, and And there was one other thing that I was going to say. Oh, blackout dates. There are blackout dates for these reservations, and I will have a redirect, dclshow.com/placeholder blackout dates. And you can find them all right there on the Disney Cruise Line. They post which ones. I'm going to make it easy for you. Big holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, there are blackout dates. And then spring break. Wherever most of the spring break itineraries are happening, those are blackout dates. So those are the big things. You can, if you didn't book with Dreams before, you can shift that over, and we will talk about that in a minute. Elaine, let's go back to, you mentioned that you have to do this on board. There was a little thing where I think for Visa card holders, they were allowing people, or Disney was quietly sending notes out, and if you wanted a placeholder, you could do, even though you had sailed recently but didn't get one, they were allowing folks to do that. Again, there's these weird things coming up that Disney Cruise Line is doing that we don't usually see. If you got that email, we can do that. But in general, if you want a placeholder, how do people go about doing that?
Yeah, so the easiest way is to just open up your Disney Cruise Line Navigator app that you have right there on your phone that you've been using the entire cruise. I have lots of clients that they actually purchase their placeholder while they're sitting in the port waiting to board the ship because they already know what next cruise they want to book. And so they go ahead and they purchase the placeholder and they shoot me a email and they're like, okay, I bought it, book it. And because they want me to go ahead and book the next one. So a lot of people will do that as well. And so it's actually right there on the home screen. I don't remember what the wording is. It probably says something about, save on your next cruise.
Right.
Or something like that. So you just click on it. It's right there on the home screen. Here's the thing that you need to be aware of is that right there, one of the very first few choices is that if you are sailing and the current sailing that you are booked on, you are booked under a travel agent, they booked that cruise for you. If you want to continue working with that travel agent and you want to use that placeholder with that travel agent, you need to make sure that you select the correct choices because it's going to ask you, do you want to book this placeholder with the same travel agency and travel agent that you are sailing under now? And the wording that they use and the buttons, it's kind of confusing. We have a lot of people that miss it or select the wrong thing. So you do need to make sure that you do that. If you're sailing directly with Disney, that you book directly through them, you're probably not going to have that option. It's just going to book that placeholder directly with Disney. If you are sailing and you're a Dreams Unlimited travel agent and you do want to use that placeholder on a future cruise with us, just shoot your agent a quick email. You can do it while you're doing it or even once you get back from your cruise. I try to email my clients and ask them, but a lot of them will email me before I even have a chance and they'll say, hey, we bought a placeholder, because a lot of times we don't get notified. They're supposed to send us an email. They're supposed to book it at our agency. Sometimes it gets booked under the agency, but the agent's name will fall off. And so we don't get that email. Sometimes it doesn't actually get booked under the agency. So we got to fix it. And so just let your travel agent know, hey, I booked a placeholder. That way we can get it all resolved for you.
I mentioned, and we all love Disney.
When you cannot use, going to charge to the credit card that you have on file for your reservation, but you cannot use shipboard credit to purchase that placeholder.
Right. We all love Disney technology, right? Do you see my tongue in my cheek? We love it when it works. It's just sometimes it doesn't work. So sometimes these don't go exactly as planned. So I always tell my folks that if you do purchase one, when you take a screenshot of your phone when it says okay, it processed. B, when you get your reservation confirmation, if you booked with us, send it to your agent so they know in case they didn't get informed. And then just, and we'll, as we say, I usually try and follow up and make sure that you can, if you end up not getting the placeholder reservation, we just need to do some things on the back end. Let's quickly talk about transfers, because we have a team that deals with these, and transferring them, we can absolutely transfer them. They cannot be associated with another travel agent. They can't be paid in full. So they essentially, if you're just booking directly with Disney, we have a form, and we'll put a form and put the link in the show notes so you can find it. You just need to fill that out. It's a little weird for placeholder, but we need to have you sign something from Disney Cruise Line, and then we can get it transferred. So if you did get a placeholder and you still want to work with Dreams Unlimited Travel, the biggest thing with transfers, 30 days. It has to be 30 days, within 30 days after you purchase it. And this, is Elaine mentioned earlier, these aren't coupons. This is a reservation. Your purchase date is the day that you book that reservation. And that's when the 30 days starts. So I get a lot of folks who come in and they say, we got a placeholder 3 months ago. Disney Cruise Line rules, we can't transfer that over. It has to be within those 30 days. So pay particular attention to that if you want to work with a travel agent. The other thing that I will note is, yes, you will get the Dreams shipboard credit. You will get the Dreams gift basket. It's all awesome. Here's the behind the scenes thing. We get paid less commission on those placeholder reservations, and we get half the commission, and therefore the shipboard credit is half of what it is otherwise if you book direct. So sometimes people will reach out to me, and I always check to see, hey, if we booked without the shipboard credit and just booked it direct, with the shipboard credit being higher, it would actually be less expensive than applying the placeholder. So we always do that math to just make sure you're getting the best deal you possibly can. So there was one other thing that I forgot to mention earlier, which is placeholders cannot be used for concierge staterooms. These are only for we always say category 4 and 4 to 11, except that the new Disney Adventure has category 4 concierge staterooms. So it messed up what we could say. They cannot be used on concierge staterooms. So just be aware of that. If you're going to book a concierge stateroom, don't get a placeholder. Book direct, you get the better shipboard credit and all those kinds of things. So
let me make a couple of
go.
clarifications there. So you can use a placeholder to book a concierge room. You're not going to get a discount, but you will get a shipboard credit from Disney Cruise Line. It's generally $100. There's a few instances where it's a little bit more. However, I have some concierge clients that I recently was talking about this with them, that they're like, well, you never told us. We book concierge every time. You never told us we could get this extra shipboard credit if we did the placeholders, because it's actually not working out in your favor. If you're booking through Dreams Unlimited Travel, if you're booking directly through Disney Cruise Line, do it. Get the shipboard credit. If you're booking through Dreams Unlimited Travel, because of that reduced shipboard credit, I know that we're getting in the weeds here. Follow the bouncing ball. Yeah. Because, as Chris said, because we have our normal shipboard credit that we give you, if you use that placeholder, even with the extra $100 that Disney is giving you, you're not coming out ahead. You're actually going to get more if you book without the placeholder when booking concierge through Dreams Unlimited Travel. You're going to get a much bigger shipboard credit. So that's why, and again, we can do all of that math for you and help you decide the best route to go. But that is something to note. Also, on transfers, please do not wait till day 29 to fill out the form on our website. Do it as soon as you get. This is what I have a lot of people that contact me. They watch the show. They say, hey, we're sailing, next month. We book direct. We know we're going to get a placeholder. And so I say, just email me the day you get back from your cruise so we can start the process, because it does take a little bit of time. We have some internal processes that we have to do. We've got to get the form signed by you. We've got to get it back to us. And then we have to submit it to Disney. All of that has to happen before that 30-day mark. So let's do all of that. That's why I say it can take some time. You might have a little bit of delays on your end. With the person that we've got handling it is a single person that handles it along with all of our other duties. So it's not instantaneous. Additionally, you can transfer. I had a client just recently do this, that she didn't want to, she knew she wanted it to transfer her placeholder to us. However, she had a certain stateroom that she wanted. I said, go ahead and call Disney Cruise Line, go ahead and get it converted to the cruise, then transfer it to us. It still holds that 30 days from the date that you purchased the placeholder, even though you've converted it to a cruise. But she could still go ahead and transfer it to us. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you can save real money with these placeholders. It can be really nice. I've had a lot of folks who use them on Alaska cruises. Alaska cruises tend to be more expensive, so it can be really nice. That 10% comes in handy. Again, it is 10% off. You don't get a discount on the taxes and port fees. Sorry, those stay the same. So we have to go through a little. We have to take off our shoes and socks and have all fingers available so we can calculate out what the savings is. One of the things that they changed this summer, we used to be able to shift it over and then reach out to you and tell you if there was anything extra due. Now we have to do that at the time of booking. So we will do our calculations and say to you, hey, this is how much it's going to be, and get that money so we can then make that transfer. It's a little bit of a pain in the neck, but it's the way that Disney does it now. So just be aware of that. Again, some of the common mistakes that folks make are either forgetting to do it. So just, when you, as Elaine said, some people do it right when they get on board, as soon as from the port, they connect to the DCL guest Wi-Fi network and they get it out of the way. And that's one way to deal with that, just while it's present in mind. We get a lot of clients who have rolling placeholders, so they may do, they get one and get one for the next one, and then get one and get one for the next one, because it's a good way to save money. So, any other tips or tricks that you have from either you or client? I always have a placeholder. In fact, I usually have a couple because I always get one on board just in case. So I'm always having placeholders. But how do you do placeholders?
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, if you don't use it, I actually had one this morning that I got the email confirmation that I had a guest that hers timed out, so she gets that automatic refund. In addition to that, if you decide that, we know we're not going to travel in 2 years, maybe you're 9 months since you purchased the placeholder, or maybe you need that money back, we can cancel it and you can get a refund right away. We don't have to wait that 2 years to get that money back. If situations change, we know that. And so if we need to cancel it and get that refund, we can do it right away. That's always a thing. And a big thing I have a lot of clients that, as you said, they might have several cruises booked and they're getting a placeholder on every one, and they want to apply that placeholder to that cruise that they booked 6 months ago. Let's talk about it. Again, it's not a coupon code that we can just apply to a previous booking.
Right.
We will actually have to cancel that booking that you made and then rebook it under that new placeholder. We can then take the money and transfer the money over, but it's going to be under 2 days current rates, the day that we are doing it. So that may have changed, and it may have gone up from the day that you originally booked it. We can do the math for you before we do it to make sure that you're still coming out ahead, because you may or may not actually come out ahead, depending upon how much the price has changed. And there is a chance, depending upon how full the ship is and how fast things are moving, we may not be able to get back that exact room that you had. It's unlikely. 95% of the time, it's all going to work out. You're going to save money. We're going to get the same room back, all of that. But just letting you know, there are those little intricacies that can happen. But that's what makes having a travel agent to do it all for you a really good thing.
Do this all the time, right? Yeah. It's funny about placeholders. We get more more questions that I didn't expect, and even after doing this for years, I'll get something like, okay, I've never encountered that one before. So there are always people who are finding different machinations. It's it's a great thing. The other piece that I wanted to mention was if you find you're not going to use that second placeholder, we can shift that $250 over to the reservation you are booking. So these are you can do a lot of things with these. Here's my bottom line: is I find that it saves you money. There is zero risk to having that one, because if you don't use it, it comes back to you. So when you're cruising, I always suggest to people, get a place. If you're even thinking about maybe we want to do another Disney cruise, it's a great way to at least have that option available to you. And then, as Elaine said, if you ever decide you don't want to do it before your 2 years is up, we can easily cancel those. So it's easy to do. With that, we're going to wrap up. As I always say, we'd love for you to book with Dreams Unlimited Travel. Literally, it helps pay for what we do here. And I'll tell you, I was a Dreams client before I was a Dreams agent, so I get the value of this. Best place to start, dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. On that page, there's a button for Disney Cruise. The first page will ask you your itinerary and your cruise date. If you're looking at a couple, there'll be notes, and you can say, hey, I'm looking at this itinerary. Can you help me find what? And the more information you provide us is great. On the second page, there'll be a pull-down menu of all the Dreams agents. You can select one. You can select Elaine or Federico or any of the folks we have on the show, or don't select one. All the Dreams agents are so awesome. They're all good friends, and they do great work. So you can make your choice how you do that. That's the best way to reach out to Elaine, in terms of, because we get emails all the time. Best way is through that form. I hate people sending people to a form, but it really collects everything that we're going to need to get you more information. So that's why we have you start there. Elaine, if people have other questions, how do they reach out to you?
My email is Elaine, ELAINE, at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com.
And I should mention that Elaine also she runs our DCL fan Facebook page, which is awesome. Whole bunch of stuff on there, people talking about Disney Cruise Line. If you have show topic or ideas, you can post that there. Elaine, are you on, do you do social as well? Are you a social person?
So yes, I do have a business Facebook page as well as an Instagram. However, life is life. I haven't updated them probably in the last 6 months, other than anytime that I travel, just because I am so busy right now.
Yeah,
But
it has
I
been a
do
crazy year.
travel. Yeah, anytime that I travel, I'm very heavy into posting my travels on my stories on Instagram. So my Instagram is Magical Vacation Hacker. And like I said, I'm very active in my stories anytime that I travel. So yeah.
Awesome. If you want to reach out to me, I'm Chris V at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Yes, there's a Chris, so I'm Chris V, and I'm on social media at Yensid Travel. That's on most platforms. Yensid is Disney spelled backwards. It's also the Sorcerer and Sorcerer's Apprentice. Oh, and we've added a new way. If you want to reach out to us, you can leave a message. Go to dclshow.com/message. And you can record a message, and we've had a few come in. Great to hear from you. Thanks. Show ideas, a couple of things that we're taking care of on the back end. So thank you for all those. We really appreciate it. And as always, a special thanks to Rockstar producer Jimmy Valdez. Jimmy, always nice to see you. Can't wait to hear your impressions of the Disney Destiny. And special thanks to you for being here. We couldn't do it without you. Depending on where you're watching or listening, please like, subscribe, leave a review. If you can leave us on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. We really appreciate it. All these things have to do with algorithms these days, and it gets our stuff to people who care about our stuff. So it really helps us. If you don't want to do anything else, that's an easy way to help us do this. And if you have topics for us, you can leave those in the YouTube comments on the DCL fan Facebook page, where there are a bunch of people discussing Disney Cruise Line, or again, send us a message, dclshow.com/message, or you can just send me an email. All of them work. Thanks so much for being here. I hope we were more important than boring, but there you go. With that, safe travels. We'll see you real soon. So long.